Good morning all. It's actually 6:34 right now at the time of recording, and yep, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. The sun's, well, it's a beautiful blue sky anyway, so, and I'm probably going out for a run about 9ish, so I thought I've got a couple of hours to, make a video. Oh dear, excuse me. So for those of you that have been following my running journey for a while, you'll know I have a preference for Asics NovaBlast shoes. My last pair of NovaBlast 2s were amazing in every sense of the word, and have been managed an epic 4,000 miles over in 18 months basically. Obviously, putting that many miles into a pair of shoes meant they were past their best, and I started experiencing like the odd injury here and there. Nothing serious, but enough to kind of like make me think, oh, I'm going to have to get, another pair of shoes. So I retired them, I think it was in December. Well, it was in the winter anyway, and opted for the Puma Velocity Nitro 2s. I was a bit hard up then, so I was actually looking for a cheaper option, and I saw a really good deal on Start Fitness for a pair of these Pumas for just £49, I think they were. In hindsight, that was a big mistake, and while my initial review of the shoes looked promising for me, and the fact that the Velocities 2s are very undersized, they were the cause of a few injuries, so I retired those after only 214 miles. Yeah, the only thing I can say that's good about them is they're good, is they look blooming lovely, but so before I get on with the actual review of the shoes, I'd have to say I'm not affiliated with Asics in any way. I have to buy my shoes just like you, so this review is honest and not given because I feel I have to keep a supplier happy, and the review is based on my actual experience of running in them. I'm an everyday runner, so I put shoes through their paces in most environments, and in training, recovery, and also in races. And at the time of writing and at the time of doing this review, I put 58 miles in them. So today, I'm reviewing the Asics NovaBlast 3s. I've been keen to try a pair for a while, but the all-important question is, how do they compare with the 2s? Because the 2s were fantastic. Will the 3s be, as good? To start with, there's the NovaBlast 3. Hold on a second, I'll be 2 seconds. As you can see, with the difference between the 2 and the 3 is the stack height's a lot bigger. Also, I thought this was light for a cushion shoe, but the actual 3 the NovaBlast 3 is it's actually 23 grams lighter than the 2. That's considering, you know, the increase in stack height. But in my opinion, they actually look quite a lot better as well. I love this like moulded effect on the side of the actual heel, and which goes to the front of the shoe too. But I did actually, while you might think this is kind of like done for aesthetics, it's not. It's actually more to do with the actual functionality of the springiness of the shoe when you land on the heel, or you know, when you, I don't actually land on my heel, I try and land on the middle, but I guess you can see why that would actually have an impact in some way. But yeah, a nice light body of the shoe. That's the breathability is good as well. Other things, you know, that I don't normally mention, but have started to be like a bit of a bugbear when it comes to running shoes, is lace length. The NovaBlast 2 was alright, you know, for the lace length, but the 3, I think it's actually increased just a little bit, because I can now put a double knot on onto my runner's knot, which I like, obviously, because the Pumas I couldn't actually put a double knot on, which was really annoying, so I couldn't actually have as tight a lockdown as I normally would. But having said that, the lockdown on the Pumas was actually really good, so just having a single knot was alright in that way, but obviously only having one knot on there, I was worried about it coming undone all the time, but there's no worry about that. I read the NovaBlast 3, I can have, like, you know, my runner's knot on there and do a double knot, and it's perfectly safe. Also, that's not overly long either, so I can just about tie the double knot and there's hardly any light lace left. Because of the issues with undersizing in the Nitro 2s, I opted for a half size over my normal size 10, so this is actually a size 10.5, and I have to say that was a good call, because the fit is absolutely perfect. Lockdown is spot on without losing any breathability. I mean, I went out on Saturday and it was 65 degrees and I had absolutely no concerns of, you know, feeling too hot. They were just right. So the all-important question really is, what are they like to run in? Personally, I would have never thought Asics could improve the 2s, but the 3s are fantastic to running. They soak up the pressure of pavements with ease, and now that they're worn in, it feels literally like I'm running on clouds. You know, comparatively speaking to, you know, to other shoes I've had in the past. When I first went out in them, I hadn't quite got over a minor soleus injury, and I had a tight Achilles tendon on the right, and rather than hinder these, they actually seemed to improve. I didn't actually feel, when I'd finished my run, well, during the run, I didn't feel them at all. But I was a little bit concerned that, you know, post run I'd get like an increase in pain, but nothing. As an older runner, you know, sadly these days I am prone to more injuries, but since using the NovaBlast 3s, I haven't even had a hint of pain rather the opposite actually. Decided this year that I'm gonna race in these as well. So in that regard, they actually beat the NovaBlast 2s. That's how comfortable these are to running, you know. I don't know if I ever mentioned, but with the NovaBlast 2s, I used to run in a pair of, I used to race in a pair of Saucony Kinvara 13s, and while they were great and light, but during the race, you know, they helped in that respect. Post race, I literally felt the increase in pain, and recovery as a result was much longer. That I'm hoping that these are going to stop that, and that, you know, these can be my dailies. So again, as an older runner, the NovaBlast 3s are great all rounder. They're mine now. They're my daily shoe for 5 and 10Ks. As you know, I can like run 26 miles, but this year I'm training for the duathlon standard distance, which is I think about 14 kilometres all in. Was it? Yeah. No, actually it's 12. So this year I'm not actually training, you know, for long distance. I'm training for middle distances. So you know, no more than kind of like 12 kilometres. So these will be perfect for that. So, and yeah, from this year I'll be using the racing too. While this isn't a pro or a con per se, rather it's an observation. They took about 20 miles to wear in. To be honest, I can't recall how long my other shoes took to wear in, but it didn't seem to take too long. They were comfortable for the first run. You know, I could just feel a little bit of like stiffness, and they've only improved in that regard, having enabled, you know, basically week on week personal bests in mid and long distances. My only gripe, I guess, is regard to the price. They were nearly 3 times the cost of the Puma Velocity 2s, and about £30 more than the 2s, the NovaBlast 2s, at £134. But despite this price, I think that's well worth it. And had I, if I had to get another pair, even at a much higher cost, I'd probably pay it, because they're that good. Negatives. I wouldn't say that I've actually got any negatives at the moment, although it could develop into a negative. We'll see. I'll touch upon that in a minute. But unlike almost every other shoe I've run in, there's been quite a few, as you can imagine. These shoes have the least amount of negatives, and the only one I think is grip and longevity. They're not ideal for trails. I know that's probably like a pretty obvious thing to say, but I'd say, like, you know, 98% of my running, or even probably 99% of my running, is on pavements. But every now and again I do actually like go onto grass, or, you know, softer surfaces and gravel and stuff like that, as most runners probably do anyway. And last week when I went out, some of my runs, my weekly 10k for starters, actually starts on grass. I guess I run about a quarter of a mile on a soft surface at the start of, you know, this 10k weekly run I do. And I actually, this particular day, it had been raining a couple of days before, and I saw a puddle, you know, coming up. I didn't jump in it, I went round the edge, and my foot slipped really badly. And that's not like something that I experienced in the two, or the Pumas were actually really good on grass. But these, I think I would avoid running on trails with these. Regarding the longevity, it's just a feeling. I can't really comment on it because, you know, it's only been, what did I say, 58 miles or whatever. So, but I mean, I don't know if you can see the heel, but not sorry, the oh, what do you call it, the sole. It doesn't have, bearing in mind I've only done 58 miles, look. I don't know if that is wear or if that's what they look like to begin with, but I have a feeling that's not going to last as long as I hope. Obviously with this year I'm going to be a lot more competitive, so I won't be able to risk running in a pair of shoes, in this pair, for 4,000 miles like I did in the twos. But I'll be happy with, you know, 800 or 1,000 miles. Will they make that? I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. I hope so. So who are these threes ideal for? Now, that's quite a hard question to answer because they're not a stability shoe. They don't mash around under your feet like some. But if you're new to running, I'd, given the price, I'd look for someone that's a new runner that's done a review on these. I guess because they're not a stability shoe, they're ideal for a runner that has built up strength in the ankles and doesn't actually need like stabilisation. So if you pronate, I'd give these a miss. If, however, you have good running form and you're perhaps in your second year or longer of running, I'd give them a try. They're amazing, and they won't disappoint you. That if you're a really strong runner, you don't have any sort of like issues with injuries or whatever, I'd perhaps, you know, buy these as a recovery shoe, but not as a running, not as a racing or even a daily trainer. Speaking personally, and obviously I'm an older runner. I'm actually 57 next week. I have to say that these are brilliant for oldies. Although I do actually add extra protection in my shoes, even these, with impact resistant insoles, and I also use like calf cars. Using these shoes has meant I can actually continue to compete at a high level. So, you know, if you're getting on a bit, or, you know, I'd say if you're in your 40s or above, these are a great way, you know, to stop yourself from getting like lower leg pains and stuff. But you need to have good running form to use them. Would I refer these to a friend? Absolutely. The only person I wouldn't refer these shoes to is a competitor. They're amazing in almost every respect, and I wouldn't want to give like another guy of 55 to 59 an edge that these give me. You know, I can, you know, what did it say actually the other day? When I was looking on Garmin, it actually said that my level of fitness is like in the top 5% for people my age and what did they say? My age and gender, that's it. So I put that actually down to these, you know, because I wouldn't be able to run as hard and for as long and as strong without these, you know. So look out for future reviews on these NovaBlast 3s. I intend to, as I said, I intend to use them for daily training, racing and recovery. So expect, you know, reviews soon. I plan to do one for 200 miles and a 500 mile review, and hopefully if the sole holds up, maybe even longer than that. You know, for me, for this to be an absolutely bang on, spot on shoe, I'd like it to do 1,000 miles, then that will actually be well, it won't actually, see, that's hard to say really, because I don't actually know the point at which the NovaBlast 2s became a hindrance rather than, you know, a benefit. I'd say, well, I don't know, to be honest, but I'd want to see, like, perhaps I'm being greedy, but I'd like to see 2,000 miles out of these, because I'm not actually a particularly hard runner, despite the sole, what looks like the sole wear on these. I mean, if I'm able to put like 4,000 miles in them NovaBlast 2s, that kind of like demonstrates that I don't actually run that hard. So in that regard, I think I'll be disappointed if I don't get 1,500 miles out of these, you know, at a competitive level as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and for subscribers and supporters. Thank you for your continued support, it means the world. If you found the review helpful, please leave a like, and if you use these shoes yourself, please leave a comment below on your experience with them, and obviously the same applies to questions. So take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.